I want to talk about something that I never thought I would publicly share on the internet. Hi, I am wanting to vlog more. I want to display something and I don't want it to come across as like a shock. If I get questions, I want to be able to just link to this video. I don't want to hold on to this anymore. We're going to talk all about Gravity Rising and I'm going to do a cover reveal for a book that, at least as of right this second, I don't intend on publishing anytime soon. So if you're here and excited for a cover reveal, I'm so sorry. You're really not going to get much of a book out of me just yet. Gravity Rising. What happened to it, why I quote unquote abandoned it, all the tea. Behind this is the book cover. I commissioned it in late 2017, I think, and I got it back, had the fullest of intent on publishing it. Just personal things happened, mental health shit happened, right? My father-in-law passed away. It's been almost 10 years since leaving Gravity Rising officially. It's kind of like a time capsule, what's inside of here. This and this, these two things I took with me to the Wander Writers Retreat back in 2018. And I printed it out, and my goal for that whole retreat was to edit. And I did. I got a little bit of a ways in. It's weird because I'm holding the book, like it's physically here, but also it's just kind of like a mess. I just want to share with you guys, like it's just really interesting. Let's just get started. For editing, I got as far as chapter 12. Apparently the first paragraph is confusing. So this is like the cover. The series was called The Gravity Arc. Fun fact, for about 4 hours, thought the Scrivener file for the Gravity Rising series was completely gone. Like I thought I deleted it somehow along the way. It's been 10 years, right? And I was like freaking out internally. I thought this was the only thing I still had, and then this was a way I was trying to outline. All of the blue is Act 1, green is Act 2. This is just really strange. I thought this was like the best way to outline. I had most of book 2 outlined. Oh, I actually outlined the entire second book. Wow. And then I had plans for book 3. This is like a paper. It's so chaotic. Like you can understand. It's so chaotic. Like there's just notes everywhere, and my outlining process right now is so different. But it is very interesting to like hold this, right? This is my book. I wrote this. And then my chaotic vision board, if you will. This is literally Post-its on top of Post-its. There's 4 layers right here. I had book 3 in the works, but parts of book 4 in the pipeline. Back to the whole, like I thought I deleted my Scrivener file. I thought these were the last remnants of that. I've world builded so much and I can barely remember anything because it's been 10 years pretty much. With all that being said, I would love to finally give y'all a cover reveal. I've showed maybe like 5 people this. Here's Gravity Rising. So this is what I commissioned back in 2017. I love it. I still love it. I think there's a lot I would change. Like if it was sitting on a bookshelf, the only color is right here in Etrix's hand. Fun fact, she has 2 different powers for reasons connected to both different hands. In one of the hands, it's electricity. And then on the other hand, I think she can bend matter. So like telekinesis and stuff like that. But yeah, this is book 1. This is a cover reveal for a book that is not remotely close to being published. I don't know when it will ever be published. I can't promise anything. I want to display this for a lot of reasons, but I really wanted to have it as a reminder as I'm writing this next project of some things I would change between this project and then this new project. Specifically, I did a lot of busy work, and this could be its own separate video. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it here. This was my first book. All of the chatter I've heard recently has been pretty much revolving around the same thing where, oh, you shouldn't publish your first book. But I think in my case, that advice would have been wonderful to hear because I did a lot of busy work. Like I said, spoiler alert, I found the Scrivener file. It was buried in a Dropbox attached to an email from my maiden name. So accessing it was fun, but I found it and I downloaded it promptly. And I saw all sorts of like graphics, like constellations for each character. That is all well and good, but my stance on outlining and writing, everything else is busy work. And this just applies to me. I'm not saying that this is something that you need to do. You can tell me to fuck off and not do it. And that's wonderful. I'm so proud for you and that decision. But for me, busy work entailed creating all these graphics, world building stuff that isn't relevant to book 1, all sorts of stuff, marketing, like making mock book covers, and then eventually spending like $350 for a cover that I love. I love having it. It's a wonderful piece of my writing history and I want to display it, which is why I'm making this video, but it's busy work. I think that's the biggest lesson that I needed to know back then. I think people told me, but I didn't really clock it and I didn't get it, or I didn't want to get it, whichever one that was. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I might later this year, like, get back into the Gravity series and, you know, once I'm done with writing this project and on to querying that, I might write a little bit more, get it to more of a cohesive draft, because the reason why that draft isn't remotely publishable is because I wrote scenes, not chapters. So I have to connect different scenes and there's still quite a bit of developmental work. If you are struggling, like, oh, why haven't I written my novel? What could possibly be standing in my way of having a completed draft? Even if it's just a really ugly first draft, like, what is standing in my way? It might be you, and it was me. I hate to say that. Again, I love having this. I think it's really wonderful to have. I just don't think it was a productive use of my time. The amount of time I spent on like marketing graphics for a book that wasn't fucking properly drafted is insane. I learned Photoshop. There's so much. There's probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours that I poured into Gravity Rising, and none of it helped me move the needle. I still don't have a coherent draft 10 years later. Let this be a lesson if you're like struggling and still like, what could possibly be the reason why I'm not writing? And you're still asking yourself, like, it's not stress, it's not this, it's not that. Go back to writing. If you are stuck, go back to outlining. In case you're wondering, like, my stance on like what is and what is not a waste of time, right? For me, I'm drawing a line at, I hate to say world building, it's a contemporary romance that I'm writing right now. I'm outlining the single book. There's 3 books right now. I'm focusing so hard on the first book only. If I have notes, like, I'll write them down and shove them into like a book 2 folder to have for later. But right now I'm like comfortable in saying that if you're not outlining the project, the first project or whatever project you're on in whatever series you're working in or on, if any, it's hard. Outlining itself can be busy work or like a waste of time, because you can outline so much and develop the next Dothraki language, but if you're not writing your book, it's not productive. Yes, it could be productive. I don't know. So for me, like, outlining is like tentative and contingent, that you understand that like you can't just outline for 50 years. You actually have to write the novel or the project. I think that's kind of my biggest lesson out of all of this. This is my manuscript as it was in 2018. I took this to the Wander Writers Retreat and just going through it, like, I know it's gonna need an entire rewrite. This is what I'm talking about. It's just a caps lock rage of notes. So this is chapter 21, and then this is chapter 22. It starts, you know, a proper chapter. But then even then, I still have sections of all caps. It's a chaotic mess. To go back into this would be a full-time effort. And right now I'm wanting to write this romance because it's what's closest to me right now. That's not to say that I will never not come back to Gravity Rising. I think it's wonderful that I got this far. This is something that I did. I did this. And I also did like all the stuff, like all the notes that are in here, like all of this. I did something. I did this. And I know I keep repeating that, but it's so huge. Just write, just get it on the page. Oh, and another thing, I couldn't find the video. I've spent days looking for it. When I got this back, the graphic designer, Deranged Doctor Design, they were wonderful to work with. This is just a fluke, and it just so happened to happen to me. I think in 2018, they posted this book cover on their website, and I freaked out because the book obviously wasn't even remotely ready to be published. Yikes. Thankfully, no one saw it. I got really discouraged because a part of the writing journey is sharing your stuff, right? Sharing your book cover, sharing every bit of your journey. And I wanted to do it first. And I felt so discouraged. I wish I had the footage. If I find it by the time this goes up, to recap what I would have said in that video. I was crying. I remember that. and I felt like the rug had been pulled. I don't know why. It's not that serious. It was a mistake. Deranged Doctor Designs, they were absolutely wonderful, and they have a great process. At least they did in 2018, 17. They were just a really great cover designer to work with, and I would choose them again if I self-publish. It was just like a hot mess of stuff, and I was getting in my own head, and I didn't even have a finished book like waiting to be published. It was still in this weird, awful, disjointed state, and I thought like my whole author experience was completely taken and robbed from me. That's how I felt in that moment, stepping away from it for 10 years. I think that's a little dramatic. It was just a genuinely coincidental, circumstantial, one-off mistake. I think that's all. I don't really have any more tea. I might make a part 2 for this if y'all are curious to go through my manuscript with me. That would be interesting. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Thanks so much for sticking with me if you're still here 10 years later. I'm about to film my like little writing vlog series as it pertains to my current project, which is called Project Veritas. Project Veritas has my whole heart. Disabled female character, lots of trauma. What else is new? She's disabled and she's demisexual like me, and I'm writing a romance. I'm sure there's a lot like it out there. Of course I'm gonna say like, oh, my book is special. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you in my vlog. Bye.